Welcome to the channel Tribe. This episode is a part of our webinar series, T-Tribecast. In this episode, we have Sanjay Kumar talking on SelectorsHub.
Morning today, and very good morning. It's a Saturday morning. Hope you all are doing safe. So before making any further delay, let's just get started. So here I'm going to present you something. Let me just share my screen. So today we are going to talk about and see like this amazing innovation and how it is going to help in your day-to-day life. So an innovation for the community. And maybe you guys have already heard it about from some or other format, but actual values and everything I will try to show you guys here. And why this one more wheel I have invented, like though there were a couple of things already, like ChroPath is there and so many other good tools are there for XPath, and of course Chrome Dev Tools is there, then why we need this one more thing. So yeah, there are like always so many automation tools and automatic machines are always there, but if we keep using them, there will be like at a time it will become like a kind of monotonous, like then we will be okay. So now again it's like okay, tedious task using that particular thing is itself is like become like tedious task using every day similar way of automation. So the key point or the what to say, like key kick for any innovation is that that previous innovation. So like here you see like we are writing selectors manually, or like we are using different tools like ChroPath we have. So from there we are copying. Okay, now our ChroPath has made our life easy, other tools have made our life easy, DevTools has made our life easy. We can write there, we can copy the selectors from the ChroPath. But you see, it's still like almost 80% people prefer to write their own selector. Now, writing their own selector either from ChroPath, either from DevTools is still taking a lot of time. You see, like copying the value from here. You see, every time go to the dev DOM, copy that value, come back, then type in our script. So similar, like here you see that this is a dev tool. This is the dev tools here. And here we have to like copy this value, class value. It used to take like double click, copy that value, select that value, paste it here. So you see, it is something like writing code in Notepad in 2020, in the era of COVID-19. We are writing XPath like we are writing our code in Notepad in place of Eclipse, similar thing. And on an average, we are wasting almost 1 to 2 minutes of time. These are the surveys like which I have done a lot on LinkedIn and other places. So people used to say like on an average, like, okay, some selectors could take like just 10, 15 seconds, 1 minute, 30 minutes. One could take like 5-10 minutes. On an average, used to take 2 to 3 minutes of time to write in selector. And I believe you guys can agree on that. But is it like digestible that in 2020 we are still writing code in Notepad? For writing code, we got IntelliJ, we got Eclipse, we got PyCharm, we got so many smart editors. But why we are still copying the value from DOM to writing our selectors? Because as an automation engineer, as a tester, as a developer, we are like we are writing less code in Eclipse rather than we are writing more selectors. Like we are wasting more time in writing selectors in DevTools, like they're in the small field, every time copying the value. So why don't we have something innovative which can like suggest auto functions, auto XPath function, auto CSS, I mean CSS selector function, XPath functions while typing itself like in a smart IntelliJ. So inspired from that idea, here's a new innovation and new reality. Build your own XPath and CSS selector in less than 5 seconds without compromising learning skills. Because when we are using tools like ChroPath, if you are not an expert, if you are like beginner, you will forget writing. We are losing that XPath writing and CSS selector writing skills, and we will never become an expert. So here is an innovation inspired automation, SelectorsHub. And this is the new reality. Let me show you. And this is the very first and the only smart IntelliJ, you can say smart editor for XPath and CSS selectors. and it's just been a 1 month of launch for this product, and this is absolutely free, by the way. And how to install SelectorsHub and use. So let me just quickly show you how to install. Open SelectorsHub.com, and it's available for all the browsers. So here you can open SelectorsHub, click on Chrome, I mean for whichever browser you want to install. So I have already installed it. Let me just first remove it and then show you how to install it again. So let me just go from here, click on Chrome, and once it is add to Chrome, add extension. So it will add extension here. Okay. And after adding extension, it is always suggested that you restart the browser, or whichever tabs are open, just refresh them. So I have refreshed. After adding it, you will not see the extension icon here. This is a default extension in Chrome. So you just click on this and you want to see it here. So just pin to toolbar and it will come here. Now you open, let's say, open any website, let's say google.com, and make sure you are not trying on blank tab. This is a blank tab. Okay. So it will not work here. If let me just open it here. If you will open it here, what will happen? So many times when you will open dev tools, you will not find SelectorsHub here. So it will be the last tab here, or you just expand this and it will show here. So this is a blank tab we are trying. If you will try on blank tab, it will show you that there should be a URL like google.com in the address bar. So let's open google.com, and here we will try. Now we will see how to use SelectorsHub. So when you will open, you will find an empty tab here. If you, let's say we have to write an XPath for this element, and we are writing, let me zoom in so that you will get better view. If you are writing an XPath here in DevTools, how you will write? Like you will do /input. And as soon as we type here, you see that this is scrolling up and down, and you come again inspect, and that this value, we cannot copy this value. I mean, we cannot type this value because it's small caps and it is not something easy to remember. So we'll select this value, then put @class is equal to, and you see complete thing we did. It is like writing code in Notepad. We are writing everything, nothing is suggested. We have to copy. And now if we have to add one more like end condition here, and then again we will have to, let's say data, where if we have to this one, then again you will have to copy this value we will have to type that complete shit like this. Okay, now let's see the same thing, how magical, how good it is. Like this element is inspected here, you just start typing here, it gives you like how many matching nodes, everything like smart IntelliJ, and you see, there you go, how easy it is. Let me show it again, how quickly you can do it. Can you imagine, like it is something like a smart IntelliJ, smart editor, which gives you the functions. Now let me explain you. As soon as you type here, start typing /, it will give you the tag name along with the like occurrences. These are the occurrences at it, as well it shows, and it tells you that what you are trying, whether this is auto suggest is for XPath or CSS selector. If you would have to start typing like tag name, it will tell you that this is CSS selector. So this is XPath. Now you just type open square bracket, it will suggest all possible combinations of attributes, text, functions, different kinds of functions, everything it will tell you, position, last, contains, whatever possible functions you can think of, that it will suggest from here. As well as you can learn from here. I will show you like how it is going to help you to make an expert in XPath and CSS selectors writing, and like about DOM as well. Everything it will, this is a tool, this is not an like a normal tool, it will help you to learn. Like it, other tools make you to lose their skills, but this tool will help you to become an expert in XPath and CSS selectors writing. I will show you how in the upcoming slides. So this is how it suggests the auto suggest and helps you like quickly to form. Like here, if you have to, let's say, write for this element, because on a daily basis, like we used to forget, like we have forgotten like a lot of functions because we don't use all the functions every day. Like for this example, for this one, if we have to write like /a, then you see here, you will see that this function normalize space. I'm not sure like how many of you are aware about this function in XPath, which used to normalize the space. like contains normalized space, then contains text is there, normalized space is equal to this. So all these functions are possible. Dot function is there, because whatever we learn, that we used to keep remember, we don't try to explore, but selector sub will keep on adding all those new functions which are there introduced in XPath, and what all functions, different functions are there, and along with that their occurrences, whatever will possible, like last position. It also helps you to learn like about what is not possible, like dot is equal to, let's say somebody asks you normally, or in an interview somebody asks you like dot is equal to selector sub, can we write this XPath? You can tell them, no, this is not possible, this is zero function, I have learned it from selector sub. So here, from here you can learn like, okay, this is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible. That is the reason it used to show you zero. First it will show the one matching node, then it will like more than one, and then which are not useful for you, but from learning perspective it is good for you. Like it starts with text is equal to text comma this is possible or not. So this all helps you to learn about it. Likewise, if you're writing CSS selector, so you just type, I mean, as soon as you start typing, whether you are writing XPath or CSS selector, selector sub is smart enough to understand whether you want to write, whether you are trying to write an XPath or CSS selector. So here, as soon as you select it, it will, now it will, because you are writing CSS selector, we are writing here, it's select CSS selector. It will give you all the options of CSS selectors here. You see href, star function, cap function, dollar function, and then normal standard function. It gives all those possible functions here, and make you like tells you that what all possible. So from here you are able to learn that, okay, there are different kinds of functions as well. Recently only even I learned about these functions like dollar, cap, star, etc. I'm not going in detail because it will take more time. So these all are possible, and here it shows all possible matching nodes here. Like you can see here the CSS 1, 2, 3. So it tells you that this is first, this is second, this is third, and it also highlight here in the, or like you can see the dotted orange line is first one, blue line is the second one, and when you hover on this it will change the color of this one here. And if it is hidden somewhere, when you will hover, it will scroll to the viewable area. This is some like very basic functionality of selector sub, and it makes sure that you can build your own XPath less than 5 seconds. Like you just type A and there you go. And here anywhere you click to copy this value, or you click on this to copy this value. You need not to command A, command C. Okay. So this is how you can install and use. First install it, restart your browser to make the best use of it. In the DevTools, you will find it, the last tab here. Left side, you will see the DOM. Right side, sidebar it is, we used to call. If it's not visible, click on this double arrow, you will see, you will find it. And whenever you feel like you are not able to use it, you are not able, please refer the tutorials. Then it's available for all these browsers, and it shows this. And then questions comes like you want to write like following sibling ancestors. So many times like we doesn't know like how many ancestor, how many siblings we have, right? Preceding siblings, following siblings. So it suggests everything. You just type FO after that, you will see it will start suggesting following sibling, descendants, ancestors. So everything it suggests here. Like if you would have written here FO, it will give you like if there will be following siblings, if there will be preceding siblings. So for this, you see that this is the HI A, and here there is no following on preceding siblings. If you type ancestor, then you will see that all the ancestor it is showing, because sometimes we don't know like what are the ancestor for this element. Okay, let me learn it from selector sub. You just inspect that element and you just type AN, and you will see all the ancestor possible. It will start showing here. Descendants, there's no descendants, so it's not showing any descendants. Let me just inspect any element which will have the ancestor, descendants, everything, following siblings here. And here you just type FO, it will suggest, okay, so there are 3 following siblings. There are preceding siblings, it will suggest the preceding siblings. Everything it used to suggest. So you can make those kind of XPaths as well, like with preceding siblings and parent siblings. And it will give the auto suggest for those elements which are currently inspected. So for this element only, it will suggest the auto suggest. Whatever auto suggest it will give for that with respect to that. And you can also like CSS selectors you want to write in form of ID, like hash. You just have to type a hash, and it will give you with the class you want to make. You just type dot, and that it will give you CSS selector. So this is a CSS selector. Can we verify selectors for shadow DOMs element? I'm not sure like how many of you are aware about that, what is shadow DOM elements, and whether what is possible for shadow DOM elements or not. So here you see, let me tell you guys one thing. It was never possible to verify shadow DOMs element. In the history, in the web history, in the like web development or testing, it was never possible to verify shadow DOMs element from the dev tools or from the any tool. What we were doing, like we were doing hit and trial, like write and write in selector, and then use it in a script, see whether it is working or not. If it doesn't work, come back here, write something else for this one. So for an example, first of all, like we don't know whether this element is inside shadow DOM or not. And in fact, many of us doesn't know. Recently, around 3-4 months back, I learned about this shadow DOM as well. So many of us doesn't know, because until unless we will in real time, we will never until unless we will never don't come across this scenario of shadow DOMs element, we will not learn about them, right? So, and not everybody used to have shadow DOM in their like applications. Rarely we will find, but we should know that. So here you see that we don't know whether this element is inside shadow DOM, and there is no way until unless you don't have the deep knowledge of like shadow DOM or the like about the DOM, you will not don't understand whether this element is inside iframe, inside shadow DOM, inside frame, or SVG or whatever. So let's see how SelectorsHub will help you here. So the very first thing, like what people were doing before, what they used to do, inspect this element. Okay, don't know whether this is inside shadow DOM or not. What people will do, they will do command F and hashtag input, because ID is there, or like we will write an X path, like /input that way. Very first thing. So like let's say we have written hashtag input, but it is showing 0 of 0. Now you will scratch your head, why it's not working, though it should work, right? Okay, it's not working. What to do? You will scroll up and down, you will see, try to see, okay, is this inside iframe? No, it's not inside iframe. Okay, something shadow root is there. So now if you know that shadow DOM, what is shadow DOM, then you will understand, okay, this is inside shadow DOM, shadow root. So if an element is inside shadow root, that means that is inside shadow DOM. And what is shadow DOM? It is a document inside document which is attached to an element. This is just a definition I told you. We can read about more about it, and there are like separate video I have created on shadow DOM thing, so you can refer that. So here, this is inside shadow DOM. We got to know from here after wasting some time, but still we are not able to verify this. So you see 0 of 0 because Chrome doesn't support it. Chrome DevTools doesn't support to verify selectors for shadow DOM elements. Another thing I would like to tell you that we cannot write the XPath for shadow DOM elements. We can write only CSS selector. This is a standard rule. So now let's see what SelectorsHub has done for you. As soon as you open it, immediately it tells you that this element is inside shadow DOM. So your eyes will blink, oh, this is inside shadow DOM. So now you are careful that what kind of code script you have to write, because for shadow DOM elements you cannot write directly driver.find element method. You cannot directly use that. You will have to write a separate code for handling shadow DOM elements, and you cannot write XPath. Even SelectorsHub tells you that enter CSS selector only, as XPath doesn't support for shadow DOM. So here we will have to write CSS selector only. So we will write just hashtag here, and you see it verifies like hashtag input. You see the same element here, it is verifying. You are able to verify that one element matching. It is highlighting here, it is showing you this. This is the beauty, and this is the like whatever was impossible in the history ever. This is the thing SelectorsHub made it possible in the history for the very first time. And now there is no more time waste for you guys. And if you write XPath here, it tells you that invalid CSS selector, XPath doesn't support shadow DOM. And here's an icon, click to learn more about selectors. So you can click here and it will take you to that cheat sheet. So here I have added more function, and I will keep adding more functions and more errors about selectors. So from here you are learning as well as like you got to know that what is possible or what is not possible. Like this you can form, and whichever element you will inspect, it will tell you if it is inside shadow DOM. If it is not inside shadow DOM, it will default page will default title will come XPath CSS selector, and here you can write XPath or CSS whatever you want. If it is inside shadow DOM, it will tell you inside shadow DOM. So this is how you are able to know about shadow DOM and learn. You can learn from here, and it made possible and saves millions of hours for the people across the globe. It was always impossible, but now it is possible. Really good it is. This is really incredible. Then SVG thing. Many of us doesn't know what are the SVG elements, how to write the selectors for SVG elements, right? So what to do in that case? Like for this element, I'm not sure how many of you are aware that we can write selectors XPath for SVG element or not. And if we can write, then what is the format of that? And in fact, at a beginner level, we don't know that there are SVG elements, something different. What is SVG element, right? So let's say we have inspected this element, and now we have to write an XPath for this one. Let me just first copy this XPath from the dev tools, copy XPath, and see what it is showing. It is showing 0 of 0. So first of all, Chrome DevTools doesn't support SVG elements. It gives the wrong. So this is not correct. Let's see what selector sum and how to learn about this, like whether this is SVG, and I mean, for at least this suggests tag SVG. So you got to know that this is SVG. What about something like this, like path is there. Now, okay, this tag I never have seen. Is it SVG? Not everybody used to know, right? Let's see. As soon as you open SelectorsHub, it tells you that this is SVG element. And now you will be careful. Okay, I will not write the standard format of XPath because /SVG is not the correct format. It tells you, SelectorsHub will teach you that invalid SVG XPath format. Then what to do? You just type /. It will tell you the correct format. / star name is equal to this. And this is the correct format of SVG element. Now from here, you would be able to learn. You see like name is equal to path. If it is SVG, then you see / local name is equal to SVG. So this is the correct format. It helps you to learn about DOM, elements, shadow DOM, SVG, everything it helps you to learn. This is the power of SelectorsHub. And that is the reason, like just being a 1 month, and it became the #1 CSS selector tools in Chrome Store. And a lot more achievements. Iframe. It supports iframe. Like if any element is inside iframe, immediately it tells you that this is inside iframe. And normally, like you can verify and write XPath for them. You see, it supports frame. If you are not aware, this is different. Iframe is different. This is frame is different. So there are two types. Like iframe, if any element is inside iframe, this will be iframe here. Let me show you what is frame. So there you frame elements as well. Like this element is inside frame. So it will help you with that as well. Like this is the inspected element, and if you scroll up, you will find that like this frame tag is there. Now, if you will open SelectorsHub, immediately it will tells you that in frame, and that here it was in iframe. So everything it will help you, and it will teach you, and it will make you perfect in that. Can someone tell me what's wrong in my selector? It is the very first. It is the very first. Like let's say this XPath you copy and pasted here. It is showing 0 of 0. But here we will think like, okay, this is something wrong. Let me try some other XPath. And in fact, like while debugging our script, we used to do a lot of times, we used to just copy the XPath from a script and paste it in DevTools and try to like check whether that is a 0 matching node or more than 1 matching node, right? And we miss something while copying copying the value from the script and then paste in DevTools. Let's see in the what if you paste the same value here in SelectorsHub. it will tells you invalid XPath, square bracket, closing square bracket is missing. You can add that and you can make it correct, isn't it? If you miss something, like say single quote is missing, it tells you. If you're writing something wrong, let's say we make it correct here, correct, okay. And after this, we have written div. Somebody asks you, like let's say in interview or normally you ask, somebody asks you whether this is a correct XPath or not. Would we able to tell like whether this is correct or not? No, hardly. But let's see the same thing here. You type here, it will tell you what is possible after closing square bracket. Only forward slash and open square bracket is allowed. If you just type double forward slash, it tells you, it teach you what is wrong, what is possible, what is not possible. Really, this is the very first and the only compiler or debugger you can say for the selectors. And this is going to really help you a lot in your learning, in your day-to-day work, and will save a tremendous amount of time. It was never possible. Like nobody can tell you until unless you either you will have to look for an expert or you are an expert. And in fact, even if we are expert, many times it is not possible that we can verify what is possible, what is not, what's wrong in selectors. So everything it will help you. Security. Okay, before that, like let me take your questions if you guys have any question. I'm looking at the chat. If anybody has any question, please feel free to ask. I'm just looking at the chat because it's been quite some time I have been speaking from half an hour. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Okay, yeah, as Joy already mentioned, like we can take in last 10 minutes. Okay, feel free to just
put in the Q&A session if people have any questions. Yeah, there is a question from Prem, I believe.
Please show us some more related to CSS. Sure. So like you want to write a CSS selector for this element. So you just start typing like there's a standard format like tag name. And then after tag name, attribute is equal to attribute value. And then there is a dollar function, star function, cap function. So that you can like use. If it will have class or like ID, then it will like you can easily, if element has class, then let me show you here. If element will have class or ID like this, like here it has ID. So you have to just type hashtag and then it will make that. And if you have class, then you like for writing CSS selector with class, you have to start with dot and replace all the spaces with the dot. So what SelectorsHub does, it will add dot and replace all the spaces by dot. So it will easily make it for you. And you will not have to like manually, you will not have to replace the spaces. So yeah, so like this you can make it. Hope it help you, and you can like reach out to me for more, and also you can refer like that this XPath and CSS selector cheat sheet to learn more about it. And you can find the link here, like here is the link. Learn more about XPath and CSS selector functions. I will keep on adding more functions there, so you will it will be good for you. Security. So many extensions, so many plugins, so many tools are there, but many of the company doesn't allow to use the extension in their company, reason being security, because extensions used to have the access of your website, and like many banking domain websites, like many companies doesn't allow, and we have to take either approval or we'll have to like keep wasting our time. Considering this thought in the mind, considering this problem in the mind, I have make sure that this becomes the most secure plugin. And this is is it safe and secure? It is the most safest plugin ever built. Absolutely secure. Region. SelectorsHub inject the script only when you open the SelectorsHub tab. Like, for example, what does that mean? Like, open SelectorsHub tab. As soon as you open website, let's say I have opened twitter.com. Okay, here in Twitter, we have not opened SelectorsHub so far. There could be like, let's say we have installed 10 more plugins. Whatever plugins you have installed, they have already injected their script in your website, even if you are using them or not. But SelectorsHub will not inject a script in your website until unless you will not open SelectorsHub tab, until unless you will not tell SelectorsHub you want to use it for this website. Now, like whatever plugins you have installed, they have already injected their script in your website. But when you will open SelectorsHub here, then only SelectorsHub will start interacting your website and start working on it. But other plugins, they have already done it, whether you are using it or not, because they have the host permission for all URLs, but SelectorsHub doesn't require that one. So it is the safest plugin, and it is never slowing down your website, your web application, or anything. It doesn't save any user data. It runs only on your local. So it is the safest plugin, and performance wise, it is the best in performance. Does it slow down? No, not at all. It is the like 2 to 3 times smaller in the size compared to other plugins. Like if you check in the like Chrome browser here, it is hardly, it is like 200 KB or something, while other will be like almost 600, 200, 400, something like that. You see that this is just 204 KB, not even 1 MB. You want to support SelectorsHub, I would request you, like, please share it, blogs, if you can write article, tutorials, etc. This will be really helpful. And I'm working on this, and this is not even 10% what innovations you have seen so far. A lot more on your way. So you will see that. And this is absolutely free to use, no license required. And if you want to support SelectorsHub, you want to like support me, because I'm working on it full time. I'm not working for any company. I'm working just for community. So you can be a patron, or like you can make some donation, whatever you wish. So you can, that way you can help here for the SelectorsHub. And here you can click on donate button, and there you can find a like sponsorship, and here you can be a patron, or you want to make one-time donation, that you can do. It will be really helpful for me to get my bread and butter. And support, like if you look you are looking for any support, like where and how to contribute for SelectorsHub, found a bug and want to report, if you want to discuss anything with me about SelectorsHub, or any feature or any bug, or if something is not working for you, so please do check out these links at the footer in SelectorsHub. Here all the links are there if you check. So please check out those footer links. It will be, those links are really helpful here. So anytime, like Slack channel, you can join, frequently ask question, you can check it out. And if any issue get, so everything is there. I would really request you, if you find it useful, please add review. This will really help me. This will give me the motivation to work hard for you guys. And also it will let community know about this amazing innovation. And with that, my heartful gratitude and thank you all for joining. And now I will take all of your questions. And huge thanks to Mahesh and Test Tribe team and Joy for hosting and arranging this event. And here is my, like you can connect with me here, any of the places, any of the social media. I'm really active. And now will be looking all of your questions and taking them.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. It was really nice. A really short and crisp session, but yeah, I was really excited to see a lot of great things that this add-in is doing, plugin is doing with regards to Shadow DOM. So it's really amazing to see all of this work getting into. So we can start with some questions from all of you. Yeah, before we start, I had a few questions like which all browsers this is currently supporting. Does it just support
Yes.
Chrome right now, or?
Yes. So yes, Joy. So it supports all the browsers, like Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Edge, all the 4 major browsers it supports with the same functionality. Like there is no difference at all you will find. I have taken all that pain and taken care of everything. So it supports all the major browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Opera. For Safari, I'm working, and it will be available on Safari as well. And this will be the very first plugin which will be available on Safari ever.
And what about like absolute XPaths? Does it allow to do that, this plugin, or is it just specific to relative XPaths?
No, so this is an right now it is editor only. So it, like you can write, if you're writing absolute XPath, yes, you can write absolute XPath here. So you can write anything, and it is like you just like this way, you copy XPath, and if this is absolute XPath, you can copy and verify. but
Okay.
it will give like auto suggest, it will give you for the functions, XPath functions. And it, yeah, that's a really good question you asked it. So I forgot to tell guys one really important, it has the index support as well. Like you can build the XPath with the indexes. Let me show you. I'm really thankful, Joy, you asked this question because I just missed it. Like // here, and it is finding 84 matching node. How to make it unique? And I don't have any attribute which is unique. You see, everything is like more than one. Have to make it. What you have to, you have to just type open parenthesis here. It will give you the XPath with indexes, and here you can make it one matching node. So it supports indexes as well, and really helpful in those cases.
Yeah, that was one of my questions regarding to index. How
Yes,
about
it,
dynamic XPaths, right? If some value is changing, how do we deal with that with regards to selector sum?
yes. So if anything is dynamic, okay. So really good question. And everybody has this dynamic ID problems and dynamic attribute problems. So you see, any dynamic value, there's no algorithm has been invented so far, and there's nothing which can tell ABC123 is dynamic or static. ABC123 could be static for you, could be dynamic for my application. So nobody can tell that whether a value is dynamic or not. Only you can know, only you would be able to know for your application that for my application, all the ID values are static. So you will start using ID only. For my application, class is static and ID is dynamic, then I will start using that. Like, look at this, like GLFYF and GSFI. This looks pretty much dynamic, right? Because I mean, it's very random value, right? Let's see this one. For an example, // input here. This is class, @class. Okay, so this looks pretty dynamic. Let me copy this value and just refresh the page and see if that works or not. It is working. So for this, if I'm testing google.com here, I know that for this class is static. So I will use this. If I know that ID is dynamic, then I will avoid using this class or ID. So there's no tool or no algorithm has been developed so far which can tell that whether this is dynamic or not. It will be like our sense of humor that we will be knowing whether this is ID, whether this is a dynamic or a static attribute. Accordingly, we will have to use. That is the reason that we, like almost 80% people prefer to write their own XPath. That is the reason, like, we still have to write our own XPath, and like there's nothing like which can help us. You see that this is the region that everybody has to write their own XPath, and
Right.
people prefer to write.
Okay, that's great. I'll take questions from the Q&A session.
Sure. I will also look on that.
Sure.
Yeah, this is the one, right?
Yeah, Sadavish
Okay.
Ashok asks, yeah. Hi Sanjay,
Yeah,
this is
this
really
is.
great.
Let me
Yeah,
read
go
it
ahead.
out.
Yeah, go ahead.
However, I wanted to understand if SelectorsHub has the capability to get the XPath CSS selector for all the elements in the page if I just provide page URL as an input. This way, I don't have to worry about identifying the page elements and just focus on the code. Yes. So good question, Sadasiv. Let me explain that why it is not good to get all the XPath. I mean, it's very simple for anyone. For me, it's very straightforward to get all the XPath in single shot when you will provide the URL. But why we should not do that, and why I'm not doing that? Region. Let's say I have, like, you have given me this google.com URL and I pasted here. I have to just run one simple command. It will give me all the XPath, all the selectors for this page. Now here for this page, there will be more than thousands of XPath. Out of, now you got thousands of XPath. How will you identify which XPath you needed? Again, that is a pain, because this itself, like this DOM itself is the XPath. Like here, these all are XPath. I mean, these all are elements only. and they all have XPath and selectors in them, like right click and copy. So I have to just run one query, everything will give. Now, if you got like this kind of thousands of XPath you will get, then how will you identify, like out of thousands, you will have to again query for this XPath, right? Let's say you got 10,000 XPath. Now you have to write a command for this element, input box, right here. So while writing input command for this here, you will have to identify XPath for this one. Again, that you will take some time to figure out on from that for this XPath, for this XPath. So that is again a time consuming thing. Like again, we have to verify, again, we have to like query out of them for this element, for this XPath. So it's always good, like whichever element, because hardly you need on this page, you just need 1, 2, 3, 4 XPath, or like few more, let's say 10, 15 XPath you need. Now, if you got 10,000 XPath, and if you have to figure out 15, these 15 XPath from that 10,000 XPath, it will really take too much time to identify, to like segregate from them. So it is never good and never a good idea. Though it could be a good idea for someone, but it is really tough to again identify, fetch those 15 XPath out of 10,000. Hope it makes sense to you. And I'm like open to discuss more. If you have any question, any cross question on them, feel free to connect with me. I'm more than happy to help. And if that will be like, if it is a good idea and it required and it fulfill your requirement, I'm more than happy to add one feature like that, so that like if one provides the URL, it will give all the experts. That's a very simple thing. Thank you. Will upload or download attachment work with SelectorsHub? Will upload or download attachment work with SelectorsHub? Right now, it has only the feature of like for editing and smart suggestion. Smart suggestion. Yes, you will get these features like upload and download attachment in future. Attachment and download. Are you asking for that? But those buttons like attachment, attach button, or download button, like this here. Let's say if we have to click on this photo and then this, click on this, right? This select an image to share. If you are asking this, yes, if those elements are available in the DOM, yes, you can write the XPath for them if you are asking this one. And if you are asking that, like, can I upload an XPath file and it will verify? So yes, all those smart features will come in, really will be coming soon.
Yeah,
So like this, you can
says
write.
yes. Yeah, she was asking for that. That's what she mentioned.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that will come. Yeah, that will come. Any plans to make it open source? Yes. So right now it's absolutely free, and all the extensions are always open source, and code is there in your browser itself. I'm just cleaning up, and it just been a 1 month of launch. So there is a little process is required to make any good tool, making any good innovation and idea to open source. So yes, I'm working on that and hope it will be soon in future. So can you please share the link of video on shadow elements? Sure. So here in the footer, if you click on this video link, you will go to my YouTube, and here it will be, all the videos will be available. So please check it out. It is here. It will be here. You will have to see Shadow DOM 1. This is the one, selectors of how to write selectors for Shadow DOM in detail, so that you can check it out. Does it handle video playback elements inside browser session? Or does it handle video playback elements? Okay, so yes, like it's a very simple thing. Like idea of inspecting any element or writing selectors for any element, if you are able to if you are able to find that element in DevTools in the DOM, you would be able to, like, SelectorsHub will be able to help you to write selectors for those elements. Let's say if you have open YouTube video here, and you are able to inspect that element, and that element is available in the DOM, sorry. That element is available in the DOM here, left side. Then of course SelectorsHub will help you. Okay. Here, you go, and like whichever element you feel that whether it will work for that or not, you just inspect that element and try. You see that it is working for this one, so you just try that. And if it doesn't work, feel free to reach out to me, that and you can bug me, like I'm your servant here, and for the community I'm working. So you can anytime you can reach out to me and tell me that Sanjay, for this button it's not working, for this thing it is not working, fix it. I will more than happy to fix that. So many features like this frame support. This one, few days back, somebody asked me like, Sanjay, this is not working for frame. So I added support for this one. Day before yesterday, somebody told me like, Sanjay, it is not working when we are uh, separating, like if we are opening DevTools like this as an undocked window. So it was not working before as an undocked window because of some security reasons. Chrome was not allowing. So I have fixed that issue. Now it's working undock as well. So I'm here, always here to help you guys, and it will work, making sure everything works for you. Many of the features came from the like from the communities. This number, it is also suggested by the community, like can you add this one, so that we will not have to, because earlier it was not giving the numbers. So what you will have to do, like you have to first select this, then press enter, then you were able to get to know that how many matching node. But now here itself it is telling you, so you need not to select that, and then you have to verify how many matching nodes. So these all are suggestions from the community, so you can help and contribute to make it better.
Yeah, there was one question, Sanjay, in the chat. Will it be
Yes.
helpful for XPath issues? What we do today, like element not traceable, element not visible. So as per now.
Yes. So see, whenever that element is not visible, so you can immediately verify that XPath here. So what happened, like many a times people has, let's say, written this kind of XPath, and like element is not found. So your script will not tell that whether that is a correct XPath, wrong format or not. Because like, and when you will try to verify XPath in DevTools, it starts showing 0 of 0. So that time you feel that, okay, XPath got changed or something, trace element error. But if you copy and paste that XPath immediately from your script, that you will get to know whether if something is missing, really missing, or actually your XPath got changed. So those kind of errors comes like anyone not found, traceable error, those all those stack element error, they comes when your XPath either zero matching node, or there is something wrong in your XPath, or your XPath is hidden somewhere. I mean, your element, web element, is hidden somewhere in the background. So you will have to make that visible before interacting with that. Can you inspect the phone button in 2-3 row with the table contacts, CRM Pro website? Sure. Let me try it. He's asking, where is the contact? This one is contact. Chat. Can you inspect the phone button in 2-3 row of the in the table contacts? Phone button. I mean contacts.
I think he's talking about the list options, I believe. The options, there is a
Yeah.
phone.
Okay. This one.
Is that correct, Santosh? Maybe.
Let me just try. So is there any issue, like it's not working or what? Phone button. Yeah. Image. So yes, it's working. Is this fine? I did correct. Like this is on. Yeah, so it's working. Like you can check it out. So this is like just simple inspection. So you can do it anytime. It will work. And if it is not working, you can feel free to let me know.
I think he says in options.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he got it.
Okay. Great. Any more questions for anyone? You can stay in for a few more minutes.
Sure. So you can feel free to ask me any question, and if you have any more question, you can reach out to me. And here are like my uh, profiles links on different social media, so you can feel free to reach out to me anywhere. And if you have any suggestion, anything, do let me know. And I would really request you, please add review. It will hardly take like 10 seconds for you, and it will really motivates me. Here you can add review and rating. So please, hardly it will take 10 seconds for you, and it will really motivate me, and it will really help me. Many times few elements appear after we hover on particular element, and we don't get that in DOM directly, how to handle this. Okay. So what you can do in those kind of situation, one way is that like you hover on this, like this, and right click and inspect this element. Okay. Is it my system was slow or what? Right click and inspect. Why it's not loading? One way is like you right click and inspect. Another way is like you okay, so it's not coming, I don't know. Let me just inspect this. You hold this. There is something like force state, like you right click and force state. So for many of the application, it works like hover. So if you force state hover, that drop down value start appearing. Another way is like you check with your developer that how can you make it hover always, so that you would be able to inspect. Or there's a good idea, good hack for here, because this is an standard something which Chrome has. If you have opened this in Firefox has this feature that Firefox allow you to inspect the even drop down elements as well. Like for example, let me show you. Like you hover on this. So here it allows you to inspect the elements as well. Like whichever element you want to inspect, it will allow you to inspect. You see that in the drop in the DevTools, you can see we can inspect, but here in Chrome it doesn't allow. So if you are in that kind of situation, like here you see that drop down is not coming, but while in Firefox that feature is there. So either you can use Firefox, or you can make it force state, and you can check with your developer like how you can hold that. Like you will have, always some or other setting in DOM for that particular element, which your developer only can help in the back end, because they introduce some time, like within this time frame this will disappear, or whether it will come on force state, active, hover. So that you will have to check accordingly, or else like better you go with Firefox. There you can inspect drop down values. Thank you, Srihari. I hope Pranav that helps you.
Okay, I think all questions are out. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for your time. It was really insightful hearing about Selectors Hub, and it's really great that such an innovation is there for all testers right now. You know, way back, if you look a few years back, there were hardly any tools, you know, helping with regards to XPaths, and we had to go the hard way. So it's really nice that we have a tool which helps with learning as well as identifying. So it's a great innovation. Thank you for helping the community and being with us today to share about this wonderful plugin. So thank you so much, Sanjay.
Thank you so much, Joy.
And thank you everyone for attending and giving a part of your weekend for hearing such a wonderful innovation. So thank you a lot. Hope you learned. Yeah.